I'm going to do a full day of eating in this video and share some of my favourite recipes, some of which are relatively new. For breakfast and my post-workout meal, I'm going to make biscoff baked oats, but actually in the microwave. So this is really handy if you're short on time and you just want something in literally a few minutes. So I'll show you what you're going to need. It's the usual baked oats recipes. My baked oats recipe ingredients with a slight twist. Oats, of course, yogurt, I'm using a low-fat one, some vanilla extract essence, some biscoff, some milk, baking powder, protein, I'm using an Impact Whey isolate, and then just some biscoff biscuit for the top. So in a blender, measuring out 40 grams of oats, about 25 grams of protein, 40 grams of yogurt, and about half a teaspoon of baking powder, some vanilla drops or any like vanilla essence that you've got, and then 80 grams of milk, whatever milk you have at home. This is just like a low-fat milk, and then just whiz that up in the blender, and then just add a bit of the mixture, leave some in there. I love piercing lids like this. Then I'm using 15 grams of biscoff spread, just popping that right in the middle there, and then covering that up. 4 grams of biscoff biscuit. You could just put that on top, but I thought it would be nice to sprinkle. I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave for about a minute 30. Okay, so I've just taken it out. Oh my God, it's like cake. Strong, 10 out of 10. So tasty, and it's just amazing what you can do with oats, isn't it? If you do give this a try, remember to tag me on Instagram. I love seeing your recreations. Delicious. Just had a coffee, had a shower, I've sorted my hair out, and I'm gonna make some lunch. I'm thinking to make a shakshuka. You could literally have this recipe for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It is so versatile and flavorful, really nice and fresh if you just fancy something high protein, quick, and something a little bit different if you've been having like the same lunches. Show you what you need for this. Let me know if you like it when I lay stuff out, like show you what you need. The only reason I do this, I just think it's nice to see what you're actually gonna need out, if that makes sense. For this, you're just gonna need some spinach, basil. These are optional. Something that I think is really important is don't feel put off by a recipe if you don't have, like, say, a red pepper in your fridge. Like, just use what you've got. Spinach, basil, some olive oil, red pepper, 1 chopped tomato, 3 eggs, an onion, half an onion I've got here, and some garlic, and then seasoning. I am using salt, paprika, I think this is cayenne pepper, some oregano, and then I'm gonna make some protein bread, just like toast it and maybe grab an avocado. So we'll just chop up some onion and 1 whole this is what I'm gonna have for lunch. I've just toasted some bread and put some avocado on. Oh, you know when the eggs are like just perfect, they're not too runny and not too firm. You could also have this without bread too, it'd still be really nice on food. That is literally full of all the flavours. Oh, so good. That shakshuka, I hope I'm saying that right actually, I think I am. That was so nice. I wanted to come on and just catch up with you guys and explain some habits that I've changed recently that have just made the biggest difference, not only to my physique, but how I'm feeling day to day, even as far as I feel like I'm sleeping so much better, and that has been changing and tweaking my macros. Earlier this year, I stopped tracking completely. I was intuitively eating, and then I had a phase when I was like in between here, like the UK and Dubai, and I was living like out of either an Airbnb, my suitcase, and I was really stressed, which I've touched on in a video that has just gone live, or it'll be going live. My nutrition just didn't take top of the priority list. I really wasn't looking at my macros, and I definitely didn't have enough protein. Since then, I've changed a lot and I've been backtracking my macros, but you don't need to always track your macros 24/7. I don't think that's healthy either, but as a guideline in terms of education and understanding what is actually in food, I think tracking can be amazing. There are obviously so many other tools like journaling too, and different ways. If you haven't got the best relationship with food, I would never recommend going in there tracking your macros. So if you're in a calorie deficit, so you're burning more calories than you're consuming in a day, calories in versus calories out, of course you're going to lose weight. But what you ideally want, if you're wanting to lose body fat opposed to overall weight, is to recomp, looking at your macro splits, tweaking things, trying what works for you and your body. Say you've got cake here that has 600 calories, and then you have a full meal of 600 calories that's got chicken and is much bigger volume, but your cake's density, like that meal on the right, the one with that's high volume, got lots of protein, carbs and fats, that's always going to keep you a lot fuller. Understanding foods have different thermic effects and require different amounts of energy. So protein has the highest thermic effect of 20 to 30% of calories used to digest the food. Carbs have got a 5 to 10%, fats have got a 0 to 3% thermic effect that is used to digest. That's what makes a difference between your proteins, carbs and fats. So what's really helped me is following a higher protein diet, sticking to that, and I've noticed the best results. I feel so much more energized and so much fuller for longer. So prioritizing that has really helped me. So quite a while ago, me and Mason did this thing called 23andMe, which is looking at like your DNA, and it gives you loads of suggestions, things that you might be more, say, allergic to or like intolerances. It was really interesting. And when we compared our DNA, like me and Mason, so he can have more saturated fat than me. So I just want to really mention how we are all quite different in what works for us. So for example, Mason does really well on like a higher fat diet, whereas I do really well on higher protein and more carbs, like my body digests. And when you find your right ratio, if you're trying to gain muscle or lose body fat, you're going to see much better and faster results. A big mistake I made for a long time was thinking the timing of my meals mattered, as in I would not have food past a certain time. Like the most important thing is your actual macro splits, not the timing of your meals. And I really wish I hadn't spent so much time faffing and saying, right, I can't have food at this time. My legs right now are in absolute bits. That was such a good glute and hamstring workout this morning, and the gym wasn't too busy. I was just in my zone. I had a good playlist on. I'll make sure I leave that link down below. I'm on week 2 of the Lean and Strong guide from my app Live and Lift. I still feel so crazy saying that like aloud. I wanted to talk about a few things that have really helped with my training and habits that I've been implementing. If you have weaker body parts or certain exercises you feel like you don't necessarily feel, say if an RDL, you don't really feel it in your glutes as much, I would really recommend closing your eyes when you're like going throughout the movement and just really concentrating. You're literally just concentrating on feeling that muscle working and really slowing things down, making sure you can feel that muscle group working, and I swear it makes all the difference. I did feel a little bit strange when I did it the first time. I was thinking,
I hope no one can see me.
To be honest, everyone's so in their own lane in the gym anywhere. The last thing someone's worrying about is you with your eyes closed. Another training tip for you: if you're finding it hard to maintain your step count, say, and you just feel like you don't have enough hours in the day, I know that feeling. What I've been doing recently is after my workout, just go on the treadmill and distract myself, basically do all my admin tasks, give myself like 20, 30 minutes just to walk on the treadmill and get a massive bulk of my steps done for the day. That has helped so much. I don't feel like I'm as in a mad rush on an evening when I just want to relax. For dinner, I'm gonna make a sea bass and sweet potato recipe, super simple. So for this, I've got some sea bass. I'm gonna slice up some green peppers, some onions, sweet potatoes here, a lemon for the dressing, some mustard, some extra virgin olive oil, and some basil for the dressing. Here is the nicest sea bass recipe, which is super lean and so tasty and fresh. Super easy with the sweet potatoes in the air fryer. They take no time at all. And then I just put in the green pepper and also the onion, and also boiled some green beans for extra green goodness. I wish I could just like somehow give you a taste of things through the screen. So I've been having a protein shake every single night before bed just to bump up my protein intake. Strawberries and cream kind of shake. I added some ice in it, which just makes it such a nice texture. I really hope you have got some useful tips and recipes. Tag me if you give any of these a try on my Instagram at Olivia Jarvis, and if you haven't already, I'd love you to stick around by subscribing and making sure you've liked this video. It really helps and supports me and I really appreciate it. Also, very random, but please let me know if you guys prefer using an oven or microwave. I'm just thinking for future recipes, it'd be really handy to know. I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely day, night, morning, whatever time it is where you are.